Well, it's definitely a tough morning for the families affected, for the entire Chicago Police Department, specifically the officers here in the 5th District. But let's talk a little bit about what's going on here on the scene. So this is the corner of 103rd and Cottage Grove, and as you can tell, it's still quite active. We have some police vehicles here. The viaduct on the corner of 103rd and Cottage Grove is still closed to traffic, so if you are heading this way, just avoid this area. You're not going to be able to get through. But right now, we know that 2 officers were investigating a call of shots fired around this area, and in the midst of that investigation, they were hit by a train just after 6 p.m. Both were pronounced dead at the scene. The officers were identified as 31-year-old Eduardo Marmolejo and 36-year-old Conrad Gary. Both men were fairly new. Marmolejo had 2.5 years on the force, and Gary was 18 months in. Both men fathers of young children, and CPD says the officers were chasing the suspect onto the train tracks when the South Shoreline train hit them. Police recovered a weapon and found shell casings near the scene of the original shots fired call. They also questioned a person of interest overnight. Now, these officers belong to the 5th District, where 2 police officers committed suicide at the station's parking lot, and another officer suffered a heart attack while working.
I think it's really important that we put our arms around the Chicago Police Department and hold them up and support them at this critical juncture, because we are so dependent on their professionalism and their sense of duty.
Now, there were no injuries reported from passengers aboard the eastbound train. Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Superintendent Eddie Johnson asked the city of Chicago to pray for the family. And I also just spoke with a woman who actually went to school with Officer Gary. She says he was a very humble man, very family-oriented man. So super tragic what's going on here for both families affected of these 2 Chicago police officers. For now, though, I'm live in North Pullman. Gutierrez, The Jam.